Good evening and welcome to Daily Politics on Trust TV. I'm Hamza Idris. Tonight we track two major shifts shaping 2027 politics. First, the political mood in Kano changes as Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf formally joins the All Progressive Congress. His move comes at a tense time for the party in the state. A quiet power struggle has been playing out between key APC figures, including former Governor Abdullahi Ganduje and Deputy Senate President Bala Ibrahim, among others. Both camps claim influence over the party structure. The big question now is how the governor fits into that equation as the 2027 race takes shape. We speak live with APC Director of Information, Bala Ibrahim, on what this defection means for Kano and wider contest ahead. Meanwhile, cracks are showing inside the opposition coalition, the Africa Democratic Congress. Tensions are rising ahead of the party's June convention. ADC spokesperson Bolaji Abdullahi has accused members of the obedience movement of pushing divisive rhetoric within the party. But leaders of the obedience movement reject that claim. They argue some ADC figures fear internal accountability as the convention draws close. An obedience chieftain joins us from Lagos to break down the dispute and what it signals for opposition unity going into 2027 politics. But first, let's bring you up to speed with some major developments in the polity.
The governor of Kano State, Abba Yusuf, has officially rejoined the All Progressives Congress. Yusuf defected to the ruling party on Monday at the Coronation Hall of the Kano Government House. He was formally received into the APC by the former national chairman of the party and immediate past governor of Kano State, Abdullahi Ganduje, the deputy president of the Senate and senator representing Kano South, Bala Ibrahim, the Minister of State for Housing and Urban Development, Yusuf Atta, and other top party leaders. Kano State Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf will formally rejoin the All Progressives Congress on Monday, January 26, 2026, days after leaving the NMPP. He is also set to launch the APC e-registration exercise in the state the same day. 22 members of the Kano State House of Assembly have defected from the NMPP to the APC. They announced their decision during plenary, shortly after Governor Yusuf's resignation. In his letter, the governor blamed internal crises and leadership disputes within the party. The APC has rejected claims of a shake-up in its 2027 presidential ticket. The party said there is no plan to replace Vice President Kashim Shettima. National Publicity Secretary Felix Moka described the reports as an attempt to create division within the party. Labour Party's 2023 presidential candidate Peter Obi has urged Nigerian youths to guard their votes during the 2027 elections. Speaking to students at Dominican University in Ibadan, he said young people must take responsibility for the country's future and stressed that development comes through knowledge. The military has submitted its report to President Bola Tinubu on investigation into 16 detained officers accused of breaching service regulations. Security sources say the probe followed months of questioning by the Defense Intelligence Agency amid earlier claims of a coup plot.
Shafiu Ibrahim there with highlights of major issues in the polity. Now Dr. Hakim Baba Ahmed with State of the Nation.
Hello. Last week, the media was awash with reports of meetings of the Nigeria-US Security Committee set up in the last few weeks by the governments of our country and the US to see how the US can help Nigeria to boost its defense and security assets. Since the bombing of Nigeria and the threats before then by President Trump to take military action against this country, which he followed with the bombing, it appears that both sides have agreed that a more constructive path lies in engaging each other in terms of support and cooperation. The meeting we saw last week involving Nigerians and the US officials, including military officials in the US, in Nigeria, which I think is the second one, gives credence to the fact that it appears we're gaining some distance and some mileage in terms of the manner in which we are cooperating to secure this country more with the support of the US. Now, ordinarily, this will be very cheery news. The US has been a long-standing friend and partner of Nigeria. It has a legitimate interest in offering to help us, and we have an interest in accepting the support and assistance of the US. However, it is very important to draw attention to a number of very critical things if this kind of collaboration is going to continue to bear fruit, and Nigeria and the US will benefit from it. The first one is the framing of the problem that has allowed this type of cooperation to exist in the first place. It's important for Nigeria and for the US that the rhetorics about genocide as the trigger behind this cooperation is lowered and eliminated entirely. If the US is willing to help Nigeria, because Nigeria as a friend is in need of help, in specific, very clear terms, that does not offend our sovereignty, does not offend our capacities to defend ourselves, and does not cause more problems than it solves, then Nigerians have a reason to be happy and to show gratitude to the US for all manners of support. Two, Nigerians need to know what is going on. What is the US offering? At what cost is it offering this help? What is the motivation for the US in offering this help? And how much concessions are we making to allow a country which just a few months ago was calling us a disgraced country and sending bombs into our population to now sitting down with us and negotiating or discussing parameters of cooperation? Secondly, it is very important that Nigerians are taken into confidence in terms of the details of these negotiations and their conclusions. With respect to the imperatives of sensitivity to secrecy and confidentiality, this is a very, very important issue. Nigerians watch this development with both apprehension and some level of relief that the US has finally come down from rhetorics to concrete cooperation. But we want to know, as much as the need for security allows, the details of what this involves. Then so that you can mobilize Nigerian public opinion to support the initiative of both governments to secure Nigeria further. Three, it is very important that our side, this is the Nigerian side, recognizes the fact that there have to be limits. Nigeria can accept and should accept support and cooperation from other countries, like the US. But ultimately, these support and cooperation must aim at only one thing: boosting our own internal capacities and capabilities to defend ourselves. We do not want to encourage a situation where we become dependent on the US and give the US the leverage to decide what happens in this country. If the US wants to help this country, it's welcome to do so, but it should be done on our terms, and it should be done in a manner that encourages us to fight the problems that we face and not prolong the US agenda in Nigeria.
Dr. Hakim Baba Ahmed there with State of the Nation. Bala Ibrahim is the Director of Information and Publicity of the All Progressives Congress, and he comments on political developments as they affect the ruling party. Once again, welcome to our studio.
Hamza, thank you very much for inviting me to the studio.
We saw people of different persuasion at the Coronation Hall of Kano Government House, all of them smiling. Is that truly from their heart, or what we saw there was marriage of convenience?
Well, politics is a game, and in a game you play with the intent of winning. In attempt to win, you make friends with your enemies, and at times you make enemies out of your friends. But the important thing is to take advantage of the union, the situation, in a way and manner that will lead you to success. So whether the people that were at the Coronation Hall today were smiling from the bottom of their heart or from the top of their heart, what is important is that they have sent a signal to the public that in politics there is no permanent friend, in politics there is no permanent enemy. What matters most is permanent interest, and their interest is victory of their party. How they arrive at the target of victory is something for the spectators to watch, and watching is what is expected of you.
Now, who is the leader of the APC in Kano?
By the provision of the constitution of the party, the most senior elected person in the state automatically becomes the leader of the party in the state. Now, by this configuration today, by the declaration of Governor Abba Yusuf to become a member of the APC, he will automatically become the most senior elected person in the state of Kano. And that is to say, he is expected to take the leadership of the party. That is the tradition with the party.
Don't you think there is kelek in the rules governing some of these configurations? Because, of course, for a very long time, even the last time we had you here, you made good reference with River State that Fubara is the, governor there, of course, and then he's the leader of the party. But here we are in Kano. It's like they have a unique case because you have the number 4 or number 5. Of course, if you remove the president, the vice president, right? You have the Senate president, then you have the speaker, then I think comes the deputy Senate president in that order. Or maybe there should be adjustment here and there. Where does Barrow belongs now in terms of positioning in the configuration in Kano?
Well, the ladder of leadership in the country has placed the Deputy Senate President, I think, at a disadvantage. I'm a layman, I'm not a lawyer, with regards party leadership. Because I think if you are going to place the position of the Deputy Senate President, you juxtapose the position of the Deputy Senate President and that of the governor. Probably the governor will come first, probably. I leave that to legal interpretation, I don't know. But by convention, even in states where there is a governor and there is the Senate President, as the case of Akwa Ibom, because the governor is in the same party with the Senate President, the governor takes leadership of the party, notwithstanding the position of the Senate President.
As number 3.
Number 3. Now, if the Senate President can be preceded by a governor in his state, I see no reason how the Deputy Senate President can take precedence over the governor of his state. This is just a layman's comparison, right? So I think that's why I say there is a kind of disadvantage arrangement that puts the Deputy Senate President at a disadvantage with respect to the position of the governor. So in this case, subject to what the lawyers or the leaders of the party will say, I think the Deputy Senate President Barrow Jibrin may not be the leader of the party in Kano. I think it is the governor that will take that leadership. This is my own personal understanding of the leadership hierarchy, but I may be wrong.
But before the latest development, I think looking at the convention, he should have been the leader of the party in Kano, in a way, especially when Ganduje, the former governor, was removed. He was the most senior elected person from Kano. Could that be correct?
Yes. Before the exit of Abba from NNPP and his entry into the APC, which is yet to happen officially and formally, because until he registered, it is his registration that will tell us who is the leader. If he gets 001, then automatically he is number 1.
But anything can happen. He might not get the 001.
Well, then that is where I say those who are going to determine the configuration of the leadership arrangement will tell. Now, even if he doesn't get 001, as long as Bala Ibrahim is not the one, the Deputy Senate President, with due respect, does not get 001, right?
Yes.
It is the person with 001 that is the pilot.
You are also from Kano.
Yes, I am.
Kano politics tends to be different in whatever way you look at it. Don't you think now it is double jeopardy for the Deputy Senate President? This is somebody who has been investing for a very long time with the ultimate dream of becoming governor. And now, of course, leading the party in the state for a very long time, let's say 2 years. But now, he is no longer the leader of the party. Number two, he is not going to be the, bearer of the ticket of the party. Do you think he will have the strength to withstand these double punches at the same time?
Well, I think, Hamza, you are speaking from the position of strength. Probably you are privy to some information which I don't have. Because when you say he will not get the ticket, and I know we have not gone or come to the stage of giving the ticket until the party primary is conducted, no one can say who will get the ticket. And when you say he will not be the leader of the party, and that decision has not been officially taken, I will want to think maybe there is some privileged information you have which I don't have.
It's not actually privileged information. I'm talking from a position of knowledge, as you said, because we have the audio, and I'm sure our people in the MCR will likely play that aspect for us, because the former national chairman of the party, he was the one who said it. You are going to get the ticket of our party. Our candidate for 2023, even though he didn't mention name, but I remember he was the former deputy governor, Nasuru Gawuna, right? That they have sat, they have agreed, none of them will contest. The ticket is going straight to Abba. You think Ganduje jumped the gun?
You see, John Mays said, when the facts change, you can change your position. If what you are saying, you are making reference to 2023, a statement that was made in 2023.
No, he made this one today.
Right.
Ganduje made this statement today that with his entry into APC, the ticket is automatic to him. We were curious in the newsroom, and we said, well, since we are going to have someone who frequently speak on authority from the APC, maybe we will get some clarification from you whether the former national chairman of the party was actually carried away by the euphoria of the event, or he actually get clearance from the national chairman of the party or the national working committee to now give Abba this strong pat on his back.
You see, in matters of politics, even in matters of experience in life, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje is way ahead, my senior. He's more experienced politically, socially, academically, and otherwise. So for him to make a statement, and for anyone that knows Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, he's not a flippant person. He's not the kind of person that will make statement without adequate consultation, without weighing the consequences and repercussions of what he was going to say. For him to make that statement, if indeed he made that statement.
He did. They are searching for it. I think they are looking for the right place, and by his grace, we will hear it on this program.
If he did say so, I want to believe he has reasons to say so. One, he's my leader. Two, he's more experienced. Three, he knows the nitty-gritty of politics much more than me. And he knows the workings, the procedure for the emergence of a leader or candidate more than me. As a matter of fact, I am not even an active politician when it comes to that. If he made that statement and he says so, I want to believe he's speaking from authority and he's saying so standing on something concrete that will stand the test of time.
That is why I said maybe he was carried away by the euphoria, because today we also had the spokesperson of your party, Moka, am I right?
Moka, that's my boss.
Yes, cautioning those who are, creating a storm over the position of the vice president and all that, since yesterday. I hope we get time to discuss this elaborately later in the program. But for now, he was saying it's not time to say this is the candidate here, this is the candidate there. And I'm thinking whether there is contradiction between what Moka told Nigerians or the world here in Abuja and what Ganduje said in Kano in respect to the governor.
You see, both of them are people who are not flippant. Moka is a lawyer, a human rights activist, a polished politician, and someone who knows the game very well. So is Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, even though Ganduje is not a lawyer, but he is a tested and trusted politician. So Moka was speaking from the point of law. The fact that INET has not given the green light for campaigns, and if green light has not been given for campaigns to commence, and you start talking about who is the flag bearer and who is the running mate, I think you're flouting the electoral law.
Meaning Ganduje has flouted the law.
I don't know. I don't want to say that. You are the one now that is feeding me with this information. And I said, Ganduje, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, is more experienced, and he is not a flippant person. If he did say so,
which he
and
did,
you are not ready to give him the benefit of doubt that as a human being there may be a slip of tongue, if you are not ready to give him that benefit of doubt, you say he did say so, I want to admit that he must have spoken from the point of authority. He knows what he is saying.
Then probably, could that not be double standard? Here we are in Abuja, one law, then in Kano, another law, and just keep all this aside now. How do you think Fubara will feel? He defected from APC.
No, PDP.
PDP to APC, months back. No assurance for him. He's still there battling for his life and for, the room to get the right of first refusal. If you go to Akwa Ibom, there you have another governor who has defected to APC from the PDP. No assurance for him. Tomorrow, of course, Muftwang will also formally be received by the vice president in Jos. I don't know whether Nentawe, who is the national chairman, will also give him assurance, just the way Ganduje gave assurance. But don't you think this will cause dissonance among members of the party, that there is selective endorsement and selective assurance?
You see, if this statement was made by the current chairman of the party, the national chairman of the party, Professor Nentawe, I would have been frightened, because it will carry more weight than the statement made by the former national chairman. Professor Nentawe is the current chairman of the party. Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje was the chairman of the party. The two of them differ in position. Whatever Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje will say, as far as the leadership or the workings of the APC today, is secondary to what Professor Nentawe will say, because he's the current chairman. So if it were Nentawe, Professor Nentawe, that said this, then probably we can take it with a lot of worry that there is conflict. Coming from a former chairman, right, it still could be watered down. If indeed he said so and he wants to stand on that ground, he can be overruled by the national chairman or the national working committee of the party if they so wish. But if out of respect they want to give him, accord him that respect and say, okay, we will do it your own way, probably that is a decision that is beyond my own capacity and level. It's a decision that can be taken only by the National Working Committee, to which I'm not a member, or by the chairman of the party, who is my boss. So for me, I want to take it as a statement that was made by someone that is not flippant, and as a statement that was made by someone that is not reckless, and as a statement that must have been said with authority, and he knows where he gets his authority.
Could that not be a landmine now in Kano? And why do you think he will do that? To now, going by his relationship with the godfather of the governor, who obviously they have parted ways now. Can we say Ganduje now has taken the trophy?
Well, that's why I said in politics, there is no permanent friend or permanent enemy. You have this kind of changes, people change side and they change sign. So, and democracy has given that right. People have the liberty to change parties. They have the liberty to decide who are their political allies. Abba Kabir Yusuf is not new to APC. This is his second coming into the APC. He was a member of the APC. He contested under the APC.
And he moved with Kwankwasiyya.
He has always been with Kwankwasiyya. So was Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje. They have always been together. They served 2 terms as governor and deputy governor.
That one could be understood, but looking at the relationship, you know, in terms of when you put Ganduje, Kwankwasiyya, of course, in terms of age and all that, they have been together here and there, but then at certain time they now parted ways. But have you ever imagined a scenario where Abba will dump Ganduje and then pitch his tent with, I mean, leave Kwankwasiyya and then pitch his tent with Ganduje?
You see, I'm not a historian, but I have an overview on the political history of Kano, effective from 1979 to date. And this type of changes or misunderstanding in the political relationship is not new to Kano. In 1979, late Muhammadu Abubakar Rimi became the governor of Kano State with the support and backing of late Malam Aminu Kano under PRP. Less than 2 years into the journey, into his tenure, they parted ways. Malam Aminu Kano was the person that literally handpicked Muhammadu Abubakar Rimi. He was contesting for the Senate. He wasn't the one to contest for the governorship. But because of some issues with taxed papers, the person that was contesting for the governorship was substituted with late Muhammadu Abubakar Rimi on the instruction of late Malam Aminu Kano. And that's how he became the governor. So literally it was seen as if God made him, but Malam Aminu Kano lifted him to the seat. So much so that some people felt he should be worshipping Malam Aminu Kano. But less than 2 years into the tenure, they parted ways. So much so that Rimi had to change party. The PRP was fractionalized. They had the Sansi and the Tabo faction. They parted ways. And that's how late Sabo Bakinzo, with the backing of Malam Aminu Kano, became the governor of Kano in the second term, because Rimi changed party.
That was 1983.
Very good. In 2003, Sardauna Kano Bala Ibrahim Shekarau contested for the governorship of Kano against Kwankwasiyya. And Bala Ibrahim Shekarau was seen as a lame dog, was seen as a person who hadn't the political strength to contest against a sitting governor, more so a powerful governor like Dr. Rabiu Musa Kwankwasiyya, because he was coming from the classroom.
But he defeated him.
With the backing of late President Muhammadu Buhari. Muhammadu Buhari came to Kano and lifted the hands of Bala Ibrahim Shekarau and said people should back him. And that's how he defeated Kwankwasiyya and became the governor of Kano. people felt Sardauna Kano Bala Ibrahim Shekarau should be worshiping Buhari, because literally, without his backing, it was felt he couldn't have been the governor. Less than 2 years,
they parted ways. And Bala Ibrahim Shekarau summoned the courage to contest again,
and he without won. The backing of
and he won.
Muhammadu Buhari, and he won.
But in retrospection, did Rimi, get second term?
Rimi didn't get second term.
Because, so what people are saying, of course, I allowed this to flow so that viewers will understand. Some people are saying history might repeat itself.
Which of the histories? There are two histories. Okay, the first history.
Yes.
Why not the second one?
Well, you are free to say it. Maybe, okay, either way, it can flip either way.
So it can go either way.
Okay, now, where do you think he will fit in? This is somebody from NNPP getting into, APC, which has three, let me put it mildly, strong faults in Kano. Because you have the, Ganduje, you have the Barauji Brain, and then you have the likes of Kawu Smaila and others on the other side. It is believed that Kawu Smaila and others, they don't see eye to eye with Ganduje. Ganduje is assuming the role of godfather, if what we saw today is anything to go by. Do you think he will meander his way to satisfy the, political test of these three strong pillars in Kano?
You see, Hamza, in politics, I keep saying there are no permanent enemies and there are no permanent friends. What you see today as an impossibility may be a possibility tomorrow. The people you think are not shaking hands today may be shaking hands tomorrow, and the vice versa. In politics, there is nothing that is impossible. It all depends on the circumstances and the situation you find yourself and your capacity and ability to navigate. That is the only determinant. All the people you mentioned were at one time or the other friends. All of them. All the people you listed, Kawu Smaila, Ganduje, Bala Ibrahim Shekarau, Barauji Brain, and Kwankwasiyya, they were at one time together. You see, the politicians that are in the field today, most of them, I'm not good with figures, I'm not good in math.
We know you
so I don't, I don't want to quote percentage, but I'm telling you, most of them are product of PDP. A storm happened, fractured the party, they moved to another party or parties. Believe you me, there are a number of them that today, if you ask them to bring 5 items from the manifesto of their party, they may not be able to bring it off head. And they are in the party.
APC, for instance.
All the parties. Not just APC, you can be ADC, PDP, NNPP, Labour. All the people you see in there were at one time in another party. And by some political arrangement, either as a result of misunderstanding, dissatisfaction, or whatever, they change side and they change sign. They find themselves in another. Don't be surprised tomorrow. You may find these same people in another party, all of them. These ones that are at daggers drawn today may eventually find themselves together in another party, comfortably smiling. So nothing is impossible, and that's why they say no permanent friends, no permanent enemies, but permanent interest. It is just the interest that is the driving force, and that is what is happening in the politics of Nigeria. In advanced democracies, yes, you have people who have principle, you have people who believe in the ideology of the party, you have people who ethically, in fact, in some countries, it is easier to convince a person to change his religion than to change his party. Believe you me, in some countries, it is easier to get someone to be a Muslim to become a Christian than to get a Democrat to become a Republican.
Can we say our politicians here are so flippant the way they change parties without recourse to the people they represent? Because we didn't hear about consultation with the locals in Kano. We didn't hear about a referendum organized by the governor. Yesterday, what we saw is actually the removal and tearing of NNPP flags, the hallowed chambers of government house, at the gate, at the governor's office and all that, and replacing them with APC. Don't you think the Kano electorate are being taken for a ride?
You see, let me tell you something about me, Hamza. Fortunately, and I say fortunately, even if Nigeria is at war, by 10 o'clock I'm asleep. You don't find me alive. Sorry to use the word alive.
Nothing worries you?
No, well, things worry me, but my bed first. No matter what, I go to bed before 10. If I stay awake by 11, there must be something very serious. And I came to understand that most of these changes, they happen in political meetings at night. Nocturnal. Most of these meetings take place at night when I'm asleep. So I only wake up to hear about them. I don't know how these decisions are taken. I don't belong to the caucus where such meetings are held at those hours.
Probably because they are so dirty that you don't want to associate yourself with such meetings. Could that be correct?
No. It's not because of the dirt. Probably it's because of the timing and my nature. I am solar by nature, so I operate only with sunlight. Once it gets dark, everything in me shuts down, so I retire to bed. And like I said, these decisions are mostly taken at night.
Okay, let
by the politicians.
Let me put it this way. Do you think Kano electorate, the ordinary man selling potato, the keke napep rider, the school teacher, they are happy with this development? Earlier, I used the word dissonance. Don't you think these politicians are even confusing these ordinary people who are looking for good governance? Strange bedfellows yesterday, now, holding the hands of each other, showing strength. Do you think the citizens will be happy with this development?
You see, from the statement of Governor Abba Yusuf today, he said he decamped after consultation. And he didn't decamp alone. He decamped with the majority of the members of the State Assembly, which means he decamped after consultation with the majority of the people of Kano. The members of the State Assembly are representative of the people of their various constituencies. So if he had consulted with the representatives of the people, by extension, it can be said that he has consulted with the people. Whether that is the right thing to do is a different thing. But for him to come out and say he has consulted with the people, and the reason why he decamped is because he wants unity, he wants development, he wants prosperity, and he believes by aligning with the center, these things will come the way of the people of the state. So it means he has consulted with the people and he's going to bring prosperity, which by extension means the people are aware or they are happy with that prosperity coming their way. That's why they gave him the green light to decamp. So my own interpretation of the situation is that the people are happy because he said he contacted or he consulted them and they gave him the go-ahead to change. And up till now, some people, not only in Kano but across the country, believe what's happening in Kano is nothing but melodrama. Because look at Abba there with his red cap. He didn't change it up till now. And look at some of the followers, they are still with the red cap. So some believe that he has the endorsement of former Governor Kwankwasiyya, despite the fact that Kwankwasiyya declared January 23 as Ranaching Amana or something like that. What is your understanding of this? You see, the relationship between Abba and Kwankwasiyya is something we should not overflog. We should not overflog in the sense that democracy has given everyone the right to choose. Democracy has given everyone the right to decide. Democracy has given everyone the right to belong to the party of his choice. Whether he is in that party with the consent of his godfather.
But are you not aware?
Aware of what?
Whether that he has the endorsement of Kwankwasiyya to move and prepare the ground pending when they will settle and then at the center so that he will also follow suit.
You see, Abba has not spoken directly on that issue, even though Kwankwasiyya has spoken indirectly. But Abba
including the declaration of Ranacheng Amana.
Yes.
Day of betrayal, right?
Yes.
January 23.
He spoke indirectly. But the person to ask, the right person to address that issue is Abba himself. And Abba has not said he had betrayed anybody. Abba said he is moving to APC because he wants to bring unity. He is moving to APC because he wants to bring prosperity. He is moving to APC because of the good democratic dividends APC is given. And the
but is APC really giving the dividends of democracy?
That's the reason why I'm here. APC is giving democratic dividends. Even by the simple security we're having in Abuja. If you had invited me to this studio in the time when PDP was in power and you asked me to come at this time,
if I were behind Katampe, will you go there? Maybe because I'm at the city center.
I will not, even if you
even
are staying,
Abuja,
even if you are living at Aso Rock Villa, I will not come out at this time. Because in those days, bombs were blowing up per second. But since the coming of APC, that has gone into history. We don't have that. There is improvement in security. There is improvement in power supply.
As you said.
No, not that I said.
But you see, even we are to open the telephone line, Nigerians will counter this claim.
No,
because farmers, for instance, now ahead of, they are crying. Because
crying for
fertilizer
what?
over 60,000, 50,000, bag of rice, bag of maize, bag of millet, less than 25,000.
You see,
how do you reconcile this?
That is the aspect they tell you. They don't tell you the other side that makes them smile to the bank.
What is it?
Very good. You see, fertilizer is just a factor of production. There are other things that come into play before you produce the rice or whatever that you sell at the price you are talking about.
Has government subsidized any of them? You are talking about seedlings, you are talking about diesel, you are talking about what have you. All of them are, they have hit the roof. But here we are. Anyway, I don't even want to go deep into that. It's actually Abba moving to APC to also get his own largest. Yes, is he moving to get his largest? Because we were told that any governor that defects, there is this largest set aside by the presidency and the APC, where you actually speak all the time for.
Who said that?
Nigerians.
I want to get one particular Nigerian who is a party to the transmission of that largesse. I want to get, you see, some of these things are actually the creation of the press. And the press will create a scenario and then put people like me in the corner and ask us to defend it.
You think there is no icing in all the defection? Nothing?
You see, by our training, you and I, we are expected or we are told to work with information that is credible. If someone comes to me and tell me that he has given Hamza 100,000 naira for him to come to the studio,
but even in Kano, we had them saying they want to get closer to the federal government. In Plateau, one said they want to go closer to the federal government, the ruling party, so that they can also be part of the dividends, accrued to being in that political party.
You see, dividend.
So what evidence are you looking for?
Dividend doesn't necessarily mean inducement. Even the freedom to express your opinion is a democratic dividend. Even the right to decide who is your friend is a democratic dividend. Even the freedom to come out at odd hours of the night is a democratic dividend. There are so many things that are given to the people that entices them, that makes them feel happy, and they want to belong to the team that is producing that. We must not narrow it down to tips or financial inducement. And if indeed there is that financial inducement, for God's sake, I want to see the alert. For God's sake, I want to see the check. For God's sake, I want to see someone who is the recipient and who is the giver. Why, where, and for what? Most of these things, if you take them to court, in fact, you will be jailed for wasting the time of the court, for bringing something that
We're
is
only
ridiculous.
asking you what Nigerians are asking.
No,
but then will you say something on the meeting between Kwankwaso, Bauchi Governor Bala Mohammed and former Governor of Jigawa, Badaru? Don't you think they are trying to come up with another grand offensive against the APC?
Should I, Bala Ibrahim, who is a journalist by training,
but now the spokesperson, mouthpiece of the ruling party.
Very good. And Hamza, who is a journalist,
who has been journalist throughout his life.
And Shafiu, who is a journalist, decide to meet at chicken and whatever cafeteria somewhere.
We can only meet at Daily Trust office.
Okay, let's say, should we meet at Daily Trust office? I don't work for Daily Trust. I don't work with Daily Trust. If the three of us sit down and meet, is it to say we are planning something against NUJ? Is it to say
it could be if they are not performing?
It could be.
If they are not performing,
it could be,
because that is our constituency.
Okay,
if they are not performing, and we want, a sanitized union.
All right.
Definitely, we will.
So it
no
could
doubt
be,
about
but
that. Yes.
It's not necessarily so. It could be.
Yes.
It's a probability.
So are these people
Bala Mohammed is a governor
under PDP?
Badaru was a governor
Who was sacked by the APC?
Kwankwaso was a governor.
Who a disgruntled politician?
Governorship is a common denominator to all the three of them.
Okay.
So what is wrong in former governors and serving governor meeting when they have something in common? What is wrong? And they are all Nigerians. They are from the same geopolitical zone. They are friends, political friends and peer group friends. What is wrong in that meeting?
So despite all of this, do you foresee maybe in the coming weeks the president meeting with Kwankwaso?
The president is the leader of Nigeria. Kwankwaso is a Nigerian. If the president decides to invite Kwankwaso to a meeting, out of respect, Kwankwaso should honor that invitation. And if the president decides to invite Kwankwaso, Kwankwaso was a governor. President was a governor. They have something in common. Kwankwaso is a Muslim. President is a Muslim. They have something in common. Kwankwaso is above 60. President is above 60. They are all elders by Nigerian disposition. They have the right to meet. I don't see anything as to warrant suspicion in the event that they decide to meet.
Because I am asking this, we have just 1 minute. Many believe that without Kwankwaso, the configuration we have in Kano might likely boomerang. It might not produce the result desired by the president. Kwankwaso could be a terrible spanner in the plan. If he, for instance, he picks Abdul Salam, who has refused to follow Abba. I'm referring to the deputy governor. Do you think the president will be able to solve this problem? Bring Kwankwaso on board and then settle all of them, including maybe Abdul Salam also joining the APC, so that at the end of the day there will be rancor-free election in Kano.
You see, if you observe the style of leadership of the president, President Bala Ahmed Tinubu, he's a person that is always going for consensus. He's always going for arrangement that is less rancorous. He's always going for settlement that will not result in some people living with grudges. He always goes for an arrangement that is a win-win. Now, I believe for him, if he decides to contest again, he will need the support of Kano, because Kano is the largest reservoir of votes in Nigeria. For him to win, he needs the support of Kano.
Okay, finally, because we have exhausted our time. In the event they are unable to meet the demands of Kwankwaso, or Kwankwaso refuses to accede to some of their demands, and he decides to have his candidate for the governorship, do you think they will defeat him?
Well, let's get to the bridge before we talk about crossing the river.
But you believe he is very strong?
Who?
Kwankwaso.
Well, he's not stronger than the party I belong to.
You think you will defeat him?
If he contests against the APC, we will defeat him.
If he has his candidate?
We will defeat him.
All right, thank you very much, Bala Ibrahim, Director of Information and Publicity of the All Progressive Congress, for coming to the program and for shedding light on all the gray areas, which we hope we will build on subsequently when we meet you or any of the key officers of the All Progressive Congress.
It's my pleasure having you.
Yes, viewers, we are also sorry to say that we were unable to link up with Dapo Adaramewa, the chieftain of the Obedience, whom we earlier said that he will join us virtually from Kano. It was due to the inability of our technical crew to link up with him from Lagos. And from here, that's a wrap on today's package of Daily Politics. Join us tomorrow, Tuesday, for another interesting edition. I'm Hamza Idris. Bye-bye for now.